Today's story is about two young siblings with a lot of promise whose lives were tragically cut short as a result of human greed and wickedness. Geeta Chopra was just 16 years old, and she was said to be very kind and outgoing and also very intelligent, and she had dreams of becoming a medical doctor when she grows up. Her younger brother, Sanjay, was just 9 years old. He also had a very bright future ahead of him. Their father was a naval officer in the Indian military, and he worked very hard to provide for his family. On the evening of August 26, 1978, their lives took a tragic turn. Geeta and Sanjay had gone out to buy groceries when they were suddenly abducted by two men, Ranga and Bila. The kidnappers demanded a ransom of around $730 from their father, which was a huge sum of money at the time. The family was frantic and contacted the police immediately. A massive search operation was launched, but the kidnappers were nowhere to be found. Meanwhile, Ranga and Bila had taken the children to a rented room in Delhi and kept them there for 2 days. They gave them very little food and water, and the children were of course terrified. On the third day, Ranga and Bila panicked when they learned that their victim's father was a naval officer. They feared that the police would be able to track them down quickly and decided to kill the children. They brutally murdered Sanjay first and then abused Geeta before killing her as well. The news of the brutal murder of Geeta and Sanjay sent shockwaves throughout the country. The police were under immense pressure to find the killers and bring them to justice. Ranga, whose real name was Kuljit Singh, and Bila, whose real name was Jasbir Singh, both come from humble backgrounds and grew up in the slums of Delhi. They had a history of petty crimes and were known to the police for their involvement in theft and robbery cases. Ranga, in particular, was notorious for his violent temper and was known to be involved in several cases of assault and battery. He had spent time in jail for his crimes, but this did little to deter him from his criminal activities. Bila was a close associate of Ranga and shared his criminal tendencies. The two men were part of a larger criminal network operating in Delhi and were involved in several illegal activities, including extortion and kidnapping. Despite their criminal background, Ranga and Bila were able to evade the police for several years and continue to engage in their criminal activities with impunity. Their arrest and conviction in the Geeta and Sanjay Chopra case marked the end of their reign of terror. With the help of informers, they were able to track down Ranga and Bila, who had fled to Calcutta. They were arrested on September 4, 1978. The trial was fast-tracked, and both Ranga and Bila were found guilty of kidnapping, rape, and murder. They were sentenced to death on May 15, 1980. However, they appealed to the Supreme Court, which upheld their death sentence on February 6, 1982. The trial and subsequent execution of the two kidnappers were carried out with unprecedented speed, and this was seen as a reflection of the public's anger and the government's commitment to combating crimes against children. Ranga and Bila were hanged in Tihar jail on January 31, 1982, in the presence of the victim's father and thousands of onlookers. The execution was broadcasted on national television, and people across the country heaved a sigh of relief that justice had finally been served. Geeta and Sanjay's tragic story has become a landmark case in the history of Indian crime. It exposed the vulnerability of children and the need for strict laws to protect them from heinous crimes. The case also highlighted the importance of swift justice and the need for efficient police investigations. Geeta and Sanjay's father, retired Navy Commander M.C. Chopra, went on to become a crusader for children's rights. He established the Citizens Justice Committee to fight for the rights of victims of crimes and their families. He passed away in 2008, but his legacy lives on through his work and the landmark case of his children's murder. If you liked today's episode, please consider subscribing to my channel. Also, do not forget to react to this video in whatever way makes the most sense to you. Your reaction helps to give my video and my channel visibility. Until next time, humans, stay safe out there.